Welcome, it's time for another Bitcoin update here and making this video to help keep you guys sufficiently bullish, as I do not think this move is ready yet for a bigger correction. I'm still anticipating further continuation up with minimal pullbacks. And I'm going to talk about why that's the case. Just a quick update though. Let's kind of cover what my overall outlook has been in the last month and a half since the lows down here. I've been uploading consistent videos, 7 or 8 videos now in the last month and a half, talking about updates on Bitcoin and where I think it's heading next. All of those have been talking about upside and buying on dips, and that's still the case now. Let's go to the weekly just to get the overall perspective and just remind where we are right now. So next logical level that I'm targeting around 48.3. So this weekly, anticipating that this is going to be following through strongly towards 48,000 without any huge pullbacks along the way. Now let's go out to the daily and talk about why I am saying that I don't think this move is ready for one of these larger pullbacks yet. And what I mean by larger pullback is something like this one, something like this one, or something like this one. I don't think we're ready yet. I think that we are currently sitting either something like this, something like this, something like this, maybe this, or something like this. But I don't think we've peaked out yet and we're ready for one of these bigger pullbacks yet, okay? So let's talk about why that's the case, why I'm anticipating that this is going to start curling up and head up again here very shortly without any deep retracement like one of these larger pullbacks, okay? So how we're going to do that is by comparing the balance of power on each of these pushes up. So this is what we'll call our fourth push up in this uptrend. So here's our first one peaking out right here on this push. And then this one here peaking out right up here. And then this one right here peaking out here. All right. And then now this is our current push up, which will be comparing what's happening on our balance of power throughout each of these and kind of show why this one has not yet peaked yet based on what we see on balance of power normally before something peaks out. Now, so let's look. Where does this move here peak out with our balance of power? Well, first we get this initial peak, which is this push up. We get another peak up here, which is this push up. We get another spike up right here, which is this push up. And then finally, we get a final peak before this larger pullback, but it's a much smaller lower high on the bounce power. So if we take a look at our current move, does it look like that is the case? Are we peaking out right now based on a comparison of this move to our current move up? Well, I don't think so. Our current peak on the balance of power is still coinciding with our highest point on price. There's no bearish divergence yet. So the balance of power has not shown any signs of weakness yet. So that is our first one. Let's take a look at this next one. I'm just going to get rid of the drawings to clean things up. So on this move up, we have our initial drive here, balance of power, peaks, and then we pull back a bit on the balance of power, but price just consolidates like what we're currently doing. And then we have another push to the upside here. And this one makes a much lower high with our balance of power before we go into our next decent sized correction, okay? And then this last one here, big peak up here. So right now we're on our first initial wave, but it doesn't actually peak until we come all the way into the red on balance of power and then go up with a tiny little hump and cross back down for this peak up right here. So for me, if we're looking at our balance of power purely, which is this green and red wave, this looks like it's still on its first hump, its first peak up here. So we could be seeing that maybe we're right here. Maybe we're on this one. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're here. So either way, I'm not anticipating that this move is done yet and ready for a larger pullback. So I think what we'll see is something like this. We're going to push up again. Maybe we'll get up to around 38,000, maybe as high as 40,000. Because 40,000 is our next logical high on the daily, okay, right here. So we don't really have any logical highs until 40,000 for this daily time frame, right? This is our next logical high for daily. Next logical high for weekly, don't forget it, around 48.2, 48.3 right here. But for the daily, 40,000 is that next logical high. So I think it's pretty likely that this move doesn't see a larger pullback like these ones until we get up towards that 40,000 level, and we actually start seeing some signs on the balance of power that this move may be ready for a larger pullback. Okay, so that's the logic behind this, and why I'm still anticipating this follows through with minimal pullbacks until we do see that setup. Another thing we can look at is the momentum here. So these blue and orange waves still just strongly trending up. There's no lower high crossed down. So perhaps we cross down here, then come up for a higher high on price, but a lower high on our momentum and come down. Maybe then, I'm seeing signs of this move slowing down, but we don't really have that yet. So in my opinion, this is not ready for one of these larger pullbacks yet. Okay. Now let's go down to a much lower time frame. Let's go to the hourly. You can zoom in here. At this very moment, it looks like we had a bit of a fake out, breakout to the upside out of this consolidation. There hasn't been much to say in the last week, so I haven't made an update video because we've just been going sideways. But right at this moment, if I really had to make a call about the next short-term move, I'd be anticipating that we're going to curl up here sooner than people think. So we may not even take out the low right here, but I definitely see that being a possibility. So we have this first logical low. This is the nearest logical low on the hourly here. So maybe we sweep that low and then take off to the upside, but I actually don't think that it's fully necessary. I think we may just head straight up here and really just, faking out the longs who went long up here. Now they're going to be scared, and then we take off without them and they buy again up here somewhere. So normally, though, for taking a fresh position, I would not want to be entering right at this moment, because I do want to get in at lows of a consolidation instead of entering mid consolidation or at the highs of a consolidation. In the context of an uptrend like we're currently in, the real low of the consolidation I'm seeing is right over here. So unless you are already long down here, maybe here, for me, it just doesn't look like a good risk to reward ratio for a fresh entry unless we are able to get down below here. But in this area, for me, that's a great time to be buying, especially if this comes straight down there, because remember, the daily setup is not looking done yet. So looking still for lower time frame buying opportunities for me down here would be that opportunity if I wasn't already in a position for much lower. But that being said, if you're already in a position from lower, there's no reason to close that and lose your good entry, because I don't think we're coming back all the way down here, especially not yet with that daily still not looking done. So for me, maybe securing profits up higher here, but not down here at this very moment. And as far as getting a fresh entry goes, just to say it again, really personally wouldn't be interested unless we were coming down below the lows of this overall consolidation to get a better discounted entry. So that's kind of what I'm looking at this moment on this current move. Still not ready for a larger correction in my opinion. And of course, I can always be wrong, guys. So don't think that I have any magic crystal ball. I've just been lucky the last month and a half of calls on this move. I'm not always right. So just don't think that you can't lose. Always use proper risk management. I never know for sure what's going to happen. Even if the videos are, have been very accurate, it doesn't mean that they will always be accurate. Okay, so don't get overconfident or you're going to lose a lot of money, and don't, use too large of a position size. Always control your risk and cut your losses if you're a trader. But if you have a good position, or if I had a good position from lower down, I would not close it right now. I'd be looking for higher prices before I was, thinking about closing that shorter term or that swing position. So that'll wrap things up for this update. There's not too much to update right now because price is still sitting where it was a week ago. So check out my links in the description down below if you're interested in good cryptocurrency exchanges or indicators on my Patreon. But thank you for watching as always, and have a nice day. I'll update it as needed, and when I'm thinking maybe we are ready for a larger pullback.